do have the delights of the transfer market reopening. So firstly, how as an experience have you found having to sort of delve back into that, assess players, try and find out about their personalities and so forth?
Well, all I've managed to do is anybody who's contacted me with the names, because there's thousands of them, right? Thousands of contacts over the years. I've just sent it on to the people that are dealing with that for me. It's quite simple.
So you've kind of outsourced it, as it were?
No. Basically, who got me this job, I work for him and he's helping me. That's very closely linked to my greatest friend who done it for years for me. So they're checking every single name. I've seen some clips already. I've told them what I want, told them what I feel we need, very clearly. And it's their job to actually do that for me and find at least 3 or 4 in the positions that I want, that I could get, for me to then look at. So it saves me all of that time. My job is to make sure that we can get organised, deal with the people that I've already got, get the best out of them with the points available, and then add to it and concentrate on that once that window is open. We're looking at possible trials, possible training periods, so I can actually see and find out more about them. But if there's no one, we don't know anything about someone, we've been them already. So the choice won't be large, but hopefully it'll be effective.
Do you think you might have anyone in sort of fairly quickly at the start, or from what you said there, is it going to take a little bit of time?
It will take some time. The awkward bit is there is a couple who haven't been playing for various reasons, so that's a massive risk. And unless they come in and train with me, I can't really take them. So, and the ones that are in contract with other people, obviously they don't know yet that they might be on their list to go. And their manager, one of them's got a new manager, so he might not let the one go that I wanted to go. So it's very much one of them. But in the meantime, I'm concentrating on my lads and how well they're doing for me, which is why I was so pleased on Saturday. Physically, mentally, we needed to make some changes because of this next game that we've got as well. And I felt the ones I made, far too many, really, truthfully speaking, but I felt it was right because they've been training so well, and they rewarded me with a fantastic performance. And I felt we should have won it by the end of the game, personally speaking. But that is what it is, you know. And if you look at the team that we played, Bromley, the run that they're on, it's quite impressive how we managed to nullify them and make a few more I didn't see what he was talking about, handball. I didn't see anything like that myself, but it's funny how we all see it, isn't it? But just very disappointed with their goal once I've watched it back, particularly to get the cross in. That's another part of our communication that we need to deal with, you know. So I focus in on my team and what my team can do to win these games, to get as many points as we can, and then also I'll have to switch over starting next week to all the work that the other lads have done for me on what I felt we needed, which is I gave them a detailed list of information of a certain position that I would want. What do I want from that person? And that's hard enough to do. But as I say, I'm passing it over to people that know what I want in certain positions anyway. But it's probably this one is probably more experience. If I'm being brutally honest, that's the difficult thing that I'm gonna struggle with. And you know, I think we're too short in the overall squad. I normally have 4 at a certain age, 8 at a certain age, 8 at another certain age, and 4 at senior. So that's 30 plus. We've only got 2. One of them's out again, Grant. The other one's Ollie. And I'm having to wrap him up in cotton wool, you know, because of the injuries that he's had, and obviously the bookings he gets. Thought that was harsh on the weekend, personally. I thought their bloke come in to try and he just got his arms up, he didn't swing his elbow. I don't understand how that's a booking. And then they get the goal from that free kick. For me, it was a free kick to us. If their manager wants to moan about it, that was a free kick to us. But this is life, you know. So, and what I can't do is show what I'm doing to anyone else. My lads have to see me totally and utterly immersed in them, and now I've got to get out the way and have a look at the things that these other people have managed to get me with my experience of all the years that I've looked in this. And in fairness, we're looking at a lower level than we've looked at before. So that's what I've got to make sure about. And I always have the final say on, do I want that, do I want that? And that's right, he's got it, but what's he like as a person? And if we don't know, I'm going to have to bin him. And, you know, we might end up with none. We might end up with none. I hope not. I'll be very disappointed if we do, because I think we need it minimum 2. Minimum. But then again, you never know.
Are there a few who, through sort of playing at Bromley and Wickham and so on, who might have saved themselves from you looking to move them on?
Every day it changes. Every day the group get better, the group gets stronger. You look at who's adding to that, you look at who's growing, you look at who's developing into a person that you want them to be. Maybe they turn into someone that we knew when we brought them that they would be that person. They've taken a while to settle in. Who knows? It's all about the group. And why I was so pleased with on the weekend, what I was so pleased with was that the ones I left out really helped the ones who were playing, and the ones who played had the pride to continue what we've been doing and have listened to everything that we've said out there. Because if you actually break down the sessions that we've been able to do since I've been here, they're probably maybe 20. And the results that the way we're now playing, it's the same people. And I think they look very different. And I think that's the people around them, helping them make decisions, helping them do their job much better, much easier, because they're being supported. And I think we've made an awful lot less mistakes than we have made before. And I think that is making our lot believe in ourselves. And without the ball, we're starting to look like a group of people who could win it back rather than individuals. We got to get away from that. That cost us again on the weekend where, you know, instead of doing it together, we actually ran and made decisions on our own and, whoa, hold on. But that's more evidence to show, you know, and at the end of the day, life is about people doing that on the pitch for you. We still do it from the side. I'm trying to sit back and watch these days. I want my team to do it. I want to give them the belief that they can do it. But we're still finding it very hard to get out the habit of having to tell them in case they forget. So, whoa, hold on, I'm going to have another meeting this morning with my senior ones and say, right, you. Well, they're not senior, actually. I got some young ones in the group as well, so I want what they think about how it's going. But it's really, really important that a football team is a group of people. And now it's not just 11 people, it's at least 16 that are going to be starters and finishers, starters and finishers, starters and finishers. And they have to be part of that, mentally, physically. On the side, when they go on, they have to be ready for this. And normally, I would probably want 24. At the minute, we still got 31, I think. Ranging in different ages and what have you. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's very, very difficult when you haven't got a B team or a reserve team to actually keep that many people happy. And I would suggest that was the part of our not having a group or a squad or a feeling of that. So absolutely vital now that I can try and get some decisions to help each and every one of them. They're not being played. I need to move them on. They need to get a chance to play, because if you're not playing as a footballer, you're not improving, you're not helping, you're not earning your money, you're not a happy bunny. And that is the problem with the window. The transfer window has killed free movement of players. And it isn't right. And very simply, we should go back to the rules that we used to have before. Unfortunately, we've got to follow UEFA and FIFA rules, which aren't right. They should have followed our rules. Because even listening to the Bromley manager after the game, he was talking about a club of his size, you know. They are punching way above their weight. They're doing ever so well. And, you know, he's on about a squad of people, and it makes it unfair to the smaller clubs. So he's right, it really does do that. So what we've all got to do is try and, you don't want your milk to go off, do you? And unfortunately, with this window shut, it does. And if you have too much stored for a club like us, it's not right, because the group doesn't grow then. So there should be a freedom of movement till the third Thursday in March, as it used to be. You could borrow someone on loan. My Blackpool days would have never happened. I lost Neil Eardley on a Saturday, and on the Monday I managed to bring in Seamus Coleman, who played the next 14 games for me, and we won an awful lot of them. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. That would have never happened if I was back at Blackpool, and that don't seem right. But anyway, it is what it is. We've all got to deal with it, and what I've had to do is, we had so many points over this period that we've got to try and get as many as we can. I'm a bit disappointed we've only got 5 out of the last 9, to be honest with you. I felt we played really well for larger periods of those 2 games than maybe we did against Fleetwood even, you know. But on the day we took our chances, and on the day we did that, you know. So it's just been very small steps, I believe, towards what I want. And now I've got some other work to do, which is the work I don't really like. I don't like looking outside. I'd rather work within to make them all believe that I care about them. But the truth is, there's some here who probably know it themselves, that they're sort of stagnating. It's not working. It's not really happening, and they probably need to be let go if I can let them go somewhere. But they've all given me everything, and that's all I've ever asked. And the more they know me, the more they give me, and I want to be like that for them. Even if it's the news that they're not needed or not wanted, or they should move on, I'll do it in a way that is respectful to them and helpful to them. And to be honest with you, it's what I've done all my life as a manager. I've always tried to be the fella sat opposite me who I would want to tell me the truth, to be honest with me, not hide it, not blow smoke up me nevers to make me feel good about myself, just tell you the truth, really. If that makes any sense. And this is not a nice time for me. It really isn't, but hopefully it'll all work out in a way that suits everybody. But it really is a flick of the coin. This is the worst window to ever have to do anything in.
Can I ask you a bit about how you kind of assess the goalkeeping development? Because before you were here and now, since you're here, Jack Bycroft's had some time, Dan Barden's had some time. So do you feel there's an established number one? How does that look for you?
If we're getting half decent results and that one's in there, I leave him in. If we're letting too many goals in as a group, I take him out. And Jack was unfortunate. The group in front of him at the time had some major issues. They would look mentally strong for a bit, and then if something went wrong, they would wobble. And that wasn't necessarily his fault. If he didn't make a save and it went in, let's look at Colchester, shall we? Fantastic header from our own centre forward, who was pushed by one of our own defenders, who was in his wrong zone of where he should be, and he headed it in our own net, past our goalie. So he's ended up losing his position for that. Part of that. How many could he have saved? But they both got very different skills. Jack plays out like a Premier League player, right? Where Bards don't do that. He don't want to do that. He's got a decent strike on him, so it's also suited Bards by me saying let's go from back to front a little bit earlier, a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. But someone like Jack is invaluable to the modern day manager, and he's got a hell of a career ahead of him, in my opinion. Right? He really has. So, you know, I got 2 young ones. In an ideal world, you'd probably want 2 the same age, fighting for what, you know, you'd want a little bit more experience, and then one underneath, and then if the one underneath does well, the older one, go and sit there, stop moaning. And then I just leave them with Milds, because Milds, what can I teach Milds about being a goalie? Absolutely zero. But what I do know is I know that position. So, and whoever's in goal for me, if we get some decent results, you're going to stay in. And if we don't get decent results, you might come out. And I think that's the way it is, you know. And I know Bards would have thought he could have done better with that goal on Saturday. Yeah, he could do, but would I consider changing him after we've drawn away from home and we've picked up the points that we picked up recently? Probably not. And Jack knows this, do you know what I mean? And what it's about is the group. But Jack's been amazing. Absolutely amazingly encouraging for Bards, you know. And at the end of the day, that's what you try and find. Normally you have three. I've got another real young one as well in Redmond as well, who really does show some unbelievable stuff in training. But, you know, at the end of the day, in an ideal world, one of my senior ones might have been a goalie, you know, might have been a defender, might have been a midfield player, might have even been a striker. So, you know, normally I cover all of those things, so I can probably pick two of them and put the other two on the bench just to make sure I've got enough senior players who are leading and who give that vocalism to your team that actually gets your team to actually work together as a group. People think you can just throw this together just because you've got good players. It's absolute nonsense. And how difficult it is to actually change that and slowly move that without bringing anyone in is completely, insanely difficult. So I'm so delighted with Saturday. It wasn't Saturday, whatever day it was, the last game, because we couldn't even train. To make those changes with a team that hasn't trained and walk them through it in a hotel room, and I still showed a belief in them to let them go out and play as well as they did defensively against a team that scored 5, really is fantastic from those players. Honestly. And that's why I was so pleased. It was a risk. But now I'm glad I've taken that risk, because I know that they're fresh. The ones that I might start. The ones who did start have given me a massive problem. Do I want to take all of them out of the team? Not sure I do. And that's all I asked. Can you please do that? And the way Namdi played, I thought he was outstanding. Their bloke normally flicks loads of stuff on. He didn't get a kick because, and they're saying that we tried to block him. No, I only dropped him off and then pushed him forward. And he had probably one of our best chances in the first half with his left foot. Unfortunately, hooked it wide, but I thought he was outstanding. And then when Ollie came on, the two of them, you know, and then Cots came on, I thought we took over that midfield, to be honest, against their midfield line, who have been doing really, really well lately. So, you know, it's all another thing. But to me, this is the game where I think we changed. This last game against this lot who we're playing tomorrow. And I want to see if they can feel the same way about this game as I do. I didn't like that. I didn't like what they showed me. I didn't like us looking that bad. In fact, I don't ever want to see it again. And that changed part of me then. I thought they saw the real me then.
And that's really something you want to tap into against Colchester.
Absolutely.
The feelings you and the squad presumably.
Absolutely, yeah. Totally and utterly, yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah. It means an awful lot to me, as you could tell. Because I believe we've come a long way since then. And I believe a lot of people would have gone the other way. A lot of players who wouldn't have deserved to be at the football club would have gone the wrong way. Not the way that we've gone. Right, so they are changing for the better. They are doing what we brought them in to do, I believe. I really do, but it ain't no good just doing 2 away games. We need to win an away game. I want to win 2 games in a row. We still haven't done that, and that really gets on my nerves. Thought we played well enough against Wimbledon to do that, but we let another goal in. 2 people got done on the outside, 1 dink on the far post. We're marking the wrong person. He's played it in. I mean, just deal with the ball. Deal with the cross. Stop the cross when there's 2 of you on 1. Talk to each other. So I got a lot to do, you know. A lot of it's on the grass, but there's also bits that I got to do over video things. I haven't even got time to go and physically watch them myself. I never do that normally. Never, not. Always go and watch them. Always. Just to see. And I get there early with a hat on and a big beard so no one can see that it's me, and I just watch them and I see what they do in the warm-up. I see what they're like if I get there early enough. You got to find out what people are truly like. We can all pretend to be someone that we're not. And life's about recruitment. Ask the SAS. Serious. Ask them. Have a look what they do. They torture people, and if they come through it, you're acceptable. How about that then? At least we haven't got to do that. Mind you, Colchester was a torture, I have to say that. I have to say that was a torture. And yet our wonderful fans still came up, and they still keep coming up. So well done to them.
Lovely. That's all day for me. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Back on the transfer window, you've got a couple of loan players in the building. You made a decision on whether or not those guys are going to stay here?
That's a very good question. The problem I had when I first came here is that there was 4 players over the top, so I'm still got that to deal with, you know. And why we've got 32 players, I do not know. Quite categorically, I do not understand. If I was here last summer, I would have not allowed that to happen in any way, shape or form. Because we haven't got a B team or a reserve team. We haven't got under 23s, so what on earth are we doing? Quite simple. So that is also a problem. And we didn't have a long enough cup run, which would have given us some more coffers. But I'm not worried about that side of it as long as we don't break any rules, because I believe the chairman is desperate for us to climb the league, as he wants us to do, for his reasons, no one else's, which I like the sound of. And all I can do is keep trying to give him what he wants. And that's what I will try and do. So, yes, there will be some changes, hopefully, for everybody's sake in here. For some people who aren't playing or aren't getting the minutes, I need to release them and let them go and get some minutes somewhere else. And these are the times that I don't particularly like, when you have to tell people that you don't want them. Sometimes I wish I was just a coach, because the manager makes a decision and then I can say, come on son, and I can do all the nice stuff. But as I learned as a grandparent, you have to also say, actually no, you're not having an ice cream because you haven't behaved well enough. You have to do the horrible stuff, and this is not a nice time at all. And this window is not going to be fun, because there'll be so many knockbacks. And it might be because of where we are in the table. Some people might not want to even think about coming to us. That's a hell of a problem. Hopefully I can now say, well, look, we've done well in the last few games. We have picked up. Come on, if I get you, you might help us. But being where we are is not ideal in any way, shape or form. So I've got to muster as much positivity as I can find to actually make them believe that this is the right place for them to be. Sure, I can do it. But I won't be able to get everybody over the line.
With this being Colchester, so you're talking about kind of use what happened in the last game. Do you?
No, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling it to the lads, there's nothing about that. That hurt me massively, stood there on that line. And what hurt me was that I didn't know who I was watching. I didn't know who I was watching playing for with my shirt on. They changed. They changed who they were in those moments when it went wrong and they got all divery and, oh my God, what on earth are you doing? Where was the leaders out there then? That didn't look like my team, not in any way, shape or form. They didn't look like the people I wanted them to be, who I believe that they are. And I had to let them know that. Luckily, the second half. But we still had 59% possession, completely farted around with it, in the wrong areas, putting ourselves under pressure, and that was the end for me. Whoa, 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 not doing that anymore. The hell do you think you're doing? Is that your idea of football, is it? So we've taken on board what I've said, what I've changed, but more in the mentality. If you listen to Biggie understands me. He understands what I've done all my life and why I keep on at people. He has listened to those things and it affected him when he was younger. And when he came back to me, he could have gone to a bigger club for a better contract. He still came back to me because of how I spoke to him and about him. So this is what it's all about. And that really, really hurt me watching that game. It hurt me because I couldn't recognise the lads. And I've explained it to them in a way that they understand now. And so far, they haven't looked like that again. They haven't. That wasn't the only game I saw it in. Saw it at Morecambe. Saw a little bit of Fleetwood at the end. And what it is that horrible nervousness that everybody gets everywhere. And I don't want that. The fans won't get like that if you don't get like that. They won't. So it's the mindset. How do you change that with the same people? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Glad I'm not the Man United manager. All the best to him. You know what I mean? All the best to him, because what they're being paid and what they're producing is absolutely ridiculous. So let's have a look at us. Let's see what we can do. And this game is massive for me. I want another home win. I want that for our fans. I want that for our boys. We need it. We're nowhere near out of trouble. We got to keep going. Right? We got to keep going. And I want to climb the table. And I want them to do it with me. Not for me, with me. I know how it feels now to be where we are. It's not right. And I believe they're far too good to be where we are. Same people. I believe they're far too good. And if they do things differently, they have a different mindset. I think they can do all sorts of things together. And that's a fact. So I need them to show me tomorrow. That's why I made some of the changes. So I'm going fresh. Colchester, what did I do? Picked the same team. Just played extra time almost. Terrible decision by me. So I want them to vindicate me and say, right, okay, I've learned from that, lads. That's why I changed that many on Saturday. Left myself wide open. Oh, you playing Smith, oh, you playing. You know what I mean? I can hear it all. But I believe the lads I put in, the trust I gave them, they gave me that back with their wonderful performance. And unfortunately, we didn't get the 3 points, which we all want. So let's see if we can do that. It's tomorrow, isn't it? And what day's tomorrow? Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I know it's the 1st of 2025, but it'd be wonderful to get a nice victory at home. And I keep imagining what other people are thinking when they see our scores. That's what keeps me going. And I don't want to see us get a negative score. I want to see us keep posting ones that people will go, oh, I didn't see that coming. Their assistant, oh my God, you've got these going on. That's what he said on Saturday. I said, I haven't. No, they've got themselves going. I can't get anybody going. They do it. They do it together. They hadn't even trained together. That group, marvellous, fantastic performance. Honestly, let's go again. And as long as you accept what I'm saying and you accept where I put you, you're either a starter or a finisher, then, and you don't moan about it, then I'll have you. If not, get on your bike, pedal as fast as you can, and get down the in-road, because you're not one of us. And I got a problem, I got too many. So, there you go. And all I will say to all the people out there, there'll be reasons. They might not be what you think, but there'll be reasons. It might not be your opinion, but luckily for me, I get paid for my opinion. You might not get paid for yours. Yours might be better than mine, but I'm trying to see them every day and work on it and try and add people to get the mix right. It takes an awful lot to get a personal cake, as I call it, that with all the different tastes that you put in that tastes the right for the supporters. It makes it tough. But what you do need is a right blend of youth and experience, and some in the middle, of lower league who give you that hunger, of higher people who've not quite done it right, experienced people who've done it all before, but they have to have the right attitude. So wow, what an unbelievable mix that life is when it comes to football. And even if you've got it wrong, you can still make it right if you've got another game, and you've got other games left. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You have to keep going, no matter what. And what I didn't like about the last time we played this particular team, we didn't. And I'm not having that. Ever. So, that makes sense?
Very much so. Thank you very much. Very quickly pop back.
Of course you can.
That Moni's question, because you will have made a decision on some of them, I'm sure, and others will probably need a little bit more time. Would that be a fair reflection? You've got a few slots that are taken. If you want to have some free.
The easiest thing to have done all along was to say send all of them back because they're not helping us win. I don't feel that would be right now. That would have been the easiest. That would have saved the money that we need to save to add some more. But you're starting afresh with totally new people then, so I don't feel that's the right thing to do at this moment in time.
It's actually Miguel, who obviously has been injured for a long period of time.
Miguel will be going back. He knows that already.
We've talked about him already before, so I'll move on from that.
No, that's part of how I know what was wrong with the club.
Yeah.
A blame culture. And it wasn't just him. Our fans know that it wasn't just him. There was an awful lot of people that we have turned on and we have blamed, and players included, because nobody's helped him. Nobody shouted at him. Nobody smashed him. Like, come on you. We need you. No one. But that's changing.
Do you expect to use those loan slots that are free during January? Will it be a last resort? Do you want people to come to clubs as Swindon's players? Does it matter to you on that side?
What matters is the skills that they've got and the experience level that they've got. It'd be very dangerous if I bring a young one who is untested unless he's completely exceptional. So it's very, very, very difficult situation we're in. But with the lads playing as well as they are, with the group growing as well as they are, I'm in a much better situation than I was when I first took over here. I can tell you that now. That's a fact. I could tell you I am in a much nicer situation than I was when I first came in through the door because of their response to the things I'm asking them. I'm asking them questions the whole time. And I love the response I'm getting from each individual. And that is growing. And that is growing the group in a strength that we need to become a team. That makes sense?
I think one statistical curiosity that I've seen this year is that when your team has shots on target, they're going more often than anyone else in the league. But yet Swindon has the lowest on-target shot percentage rate in the division. Is that something that has been picked up on? And why does that sort of thing happen? It's like when you get a decent chance...
Since I've been here, that's not true. Overall of the season is. I think the work that we did before I was here on how to play out, how to keep it working, how to get out from a high press. Of what we didn't add was the bits in the final third, whereas now we're getting a lot more ball in that final third over the last 5 games since we lost to Colchester. Because I'm not having all of that. We don't need all of that. You should start with hitting your forwards, playing off your forwards, playing there, getting some balls in the box. We need more crosses. But where's our wingers?
Another area I've seen that is top of the list.
If you've got centre forwards who ain't getting enough chances, then where's your wingers? Where's your crosses? And sometimes if they're coming from one area and people see that with the analysts that they've got these days, you also need someone who can actually run past someone to make someone else free. And if you look at the last couple of games, someone's managed to do that to us, past 2 people. And we've actually done that when Rosaire did it up at Wickham. So, you know, what you need is some different types sometimes, you know? And if I'm being brutally honest, putting it together, the squad itself, when you add some number 10s, they're probably too similar. And can you pick them in the same team? And if I'm going to select people, I'd have a 6 and 2 8s, not 10s, right? A 10 is 2 8s. Those 2 8s shouldn't be identical to each other. One should have one lot of skill, the other should have none, but they, at least without the ball, they could win it back for you. We've got so many that can't win it back with the skill set that they've got. So one of them's got to be sub, the other one, and then, so I don't do that. I pick a whole group who I could pick any team out of. That if I get injuries, then I normally have someone who could play in 3 or 4 different positions, right? Who's a utility player, who part of it, who's experienced, who can talk, and that's why I'm asking Ollie to do different things, and Namdi a little bit, you know. I sat him a bit deeper on Saturday. It's absolutely terrific. But what you got to try and do is make sure that you have this. So life comes down to recruitment. I'm sorry, you know. Man United have recruited some, I think, awful people. I've got to be honest. They don't make a proper team. They don't want to play as a team. And the new manager, because they've had so many changes since Sir Alex Ferguson, how many changes have we had here? It's absolute madness. And I'm not blaming anyone. It is what it is. There was a blame culture here, and I don't want to be part of it. I want to have a new way of thinking. Right? I want a new way of thinking. A bright, fresh, new way of thinking. And why can't we take that into every game that we get and see if we can get enough points to get us well out of this problem, as up the league as we can. And what I got to try and do is make sure the people that sat over there and wear that kit understand exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make them better. I'm trying to help their career. And I believe they're helping me with mine by the way they're trying. And as long as they keep trying like that, I will not let any of our fans criticise them, like away at Bradford. Yes, we could have played better, but that was a boring, horrible game. They had one shot. Luckily, it came back out to them and stuck it in. We didn't quite get that on the day. But my lads worked their socks off, in my opinion. Without the ball, they chased, they worked, they limited them to that one shot. Yes, I want to do better than that, but normally you average 3 shots on target a game. That's all the average is, normally. And you're right, ours go in. Good job they do, innit? But we're constantly working on everything else. But for me, the easiest way is who's going to get me a crossing. That's why I hardly ever buy for a 5. We recruited for a 5. I like to be able to switch it with some wingers.
Last question. Are you a man for resolutions, for New Year's resolutions?
Not really. I got to lay off the chocolate. I've been going mad on me chocolate. I put £4 on, which is unlike me. I haven't been to the gym enough. My wife hasn't been well, so she hasn't come with me, so it's hard when you go there on your own. My son had a chest infection, so tomorrow morning I should be straight back in the gym. Are they open on New Year's Day? They should be.
What about for the club?
Sorry?
What about for the club? Is there a need for resolution? Do you feel that you've already started to achieve something closer to a resolution?
We need some more league points. If you look at the league points I've got, that's very disappointing. But I want to try and build something. And in my mind, I'm looking after the horrendity of Colchester the first time. I want to try and stop that ever happening again. It won't. It will happen one time or other. It always does in football. But what I want is to work from there forward to see what we can actually do. And I can't ask for any more than they're giving me at this moment in time. Now you could say this because they're all fighting for their future. Who knows? I think they're fighting for each other and the badge. That's what I see. And that's what I asked them to do. And as managers these days, you can only ask. You used to be able to tell them. But everybody's on such thin ice these days that you have to ask them, and you have to ask them in a way that they understand. And I believe our lads are doing that for us, for me, for the fans, right now. And long may it continue. And thank you for your support. Whether you wear a hat or not, I don't care. I don't. What I care about is the wonderful feel-good factor we're getting in our home ground at this moment in time. And I want that to continue. We need it to, because we didn't get 3 points on the road. And now we need another 3 points as quick as we can. And that's our opportunity to beat these tomorrow. That's a tough ask. I'm sure they've got their left winger and their centre forward fit again. They made a big difference from the cup performance, but I hope they got their strongest team. And I want to see my team go out there and take them on. Can't wait, to be honest. But Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody in Swindon, kit and scarves and hats, whatever colour they are.